All right, today we are diving into something that's really going to change the way we think about solving problems. We're going to unpack a framework that treats AI not just as some tool you type commands into, but as your newest and maybe even most insightful team member.
I mean, just think about that for a second. What if your team had a superpower? Because that's really the promise here. It's the ability to just instantly amplify your team's creativity, its analytical power, even its ability to see what's coming around the corner. And let's be honest, the problems we're all facing these days, in business, in policy, wherever, they're just getting trickier, more tangled up. They demand way more perspectives and much faster analysis than our old ways of working can handle. We need a new approach. So, this new way of working, it really demands a pretty big shift in how you think. It's not just about getting a new piece of software, it's about onboarding a brand new partner. One that just happens to be an AI. The best way to think about it is like this. You've got a creative co-pilot, one who never gets tired, has basically read everything on the internet, and can connect dots in ways you'd never expect. Now, its job isn't to fly the plane for you. Nope. Its job is to give you, the pilot, the absolute best information so you can make those critical decisions.
So, how does this whole partnership actually work? Well, the entire process is built on a really simple three-part framework. It all starts with a clear input. That's where you define the challenge and give all the necessary background. Then comes the magic, the most critical step, collaboration. This is where your human expertise pushes back, refines, and builds on top of the AI's raw analytical power. And all of that leads to the output, sharp, focused, and actionable recommendations. Okay, so let's get even more practical. We're going to break that three-part framework down into a five-step playbook. Think of this as the how-to guide for putting this whole model into action on pretty much any project. So you kick things off with a really sharp briefing to nail down the core problem. Then in setup, you're not just picking a tool, you're actually giving the AI a role, like play the skeptic or be the wild innovator. During engagement, the human facilitator's job is absolutely key. You're pulling out ideas and using AI prompts to really push the team's thinking. Then you get to synthesis, and this is where human judgment is everything. You have to filter out all the AI-generated noise to find that one golden signal. And it all leads to the delivery, where you're not just presenting a solution, you're presenting a solution that was co-created by human and machine intelligence working together. Pretty cool, right? Okay, okay, that's the theory. I get it. But where does this AI-enhanced collaboration really shine? In the real world, where can it make the biggest difference? Now, what's amazing here is just the sheer variety. For a strategy workshop, you can use AI to instantly stress test all of your assumptions. In an innovation sprint, it can just supercharge your brainstorming with all sorts of unconventional ideas. For something like a policy or risk review, it's brilliant for gathering massive amounts of evidence, like instantly. And even for something like cultural change, it can analyze employee feedback and sentiment at a scale that was just impossible before. It's incredibly versatile. And this is a big but, none of this works unless you get the most important part right, and that is the relationship between the human expert and the AI. It is a really delicate and totally crucial balancing act. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. The AI brings the speed and the scale, gathering evidence, throwing out diverse perspectives, modeling different scenarios. But the humans, we provide the things that are simply irreplaceable. Critical judgment, the ability to understand nuance and context, and the facilitation skills you need to build trust and guide the whole process. This right here, this is the core philosophy. It's all about augmentation, not automation. The AI isn't the new expert in the room. It's a powerful tool that makes the human expert even better, a more insightful interpreter, a more effective facilitator, and a much sharper strategist. All right, so how do you go from just kind of understanding this concept to actually being able to do it? Well, it is much, much more accessible than you might think. Yeah, this is not science fiction. We are talking about a real, tangible skill set, a methodology that you can learn and you can apply. It's about that shift from just knowing about AI to knowing how to collaborate with it effectively. So what does it take to get started? You might be thinking, weeks of training, right? Nope. Based on the material, the foundational training is just 5 to 6 hours. That's it. In less than a typical workday, you can go from understanding the theory behind all this to confidently leading your very own AI-enhanced session. So, we'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you've seen the framework, what's the very first problem you would want to solve with an AI partner right there by your side?